Well, today I have a very good friend and a fantastic mortgage broker here in Tawasin on the Zoom call today. I'm with Andy Greig, and Andy, a lot to talk about, a lot of questions. We're going into May now, and things are going to start happening with people buying homes, selling homes, refinancing mortgages. So let's talk a little bit. Everyone's telling me, the Bank of Canada rate is down. How has that affected mortgage rates?
So I got to tell you, in these unprecedented times, banks are overcautious, which is a good thing, Mitch. And the reason for that is, where do we keep our money? We keep our money in banks. We want them to be overcautious. That's a huge thing. I have a lot of clients that are surprised that mortgage rates are actually higher than before this crisis. What happened there is the banks factored in risk into the rates, so fixed rates went up, even though bond yields and the fundamentals of how fixed rates are determined, they factored in extra risk. So rates did go up. On the good notes, rates are coming down now. I mean, fundamentals are kicking in. So fixed rates, you'll see them coming down, which is a great thing once we're through this crisis, and on the other side, it'll be great for borrowers.
So when you say rates are affected and risk factors are pushing them up, we're not talking about pushing them up to higher levels that we've seen, 10 years ago. What kind of levels are you looking at then?
Oh, fixed rates were over 3%, and 2 months ago, you were looking at rates at well into the mid 2.5, 2.59 sort of range. It depends if it was a fixed, insurable, or conventional mortgages. If you want to talk about variable rates, everyone has this idea, like, you hear the news that Bank of Canada has slashed their key lending rate all the way down to 0.25%, which does affect prime rate. So prime rate was at 3.95. Now it's at 2.45. The difference is, when prime was at 3.95, you were getting discounts off of the prime rate up to, say, a full percent, which would bring you down at 2.95. Prime rate is now 2.45. The thing is, though, those discounts off of prime have disappeared. So now you're getting, again, depending on if you're in a insured mortgage or conventional, you're getting, prime minus 10 basis points, 20 basis points. So variable rates, when you look at it, you're looking at 2.2, 2.25, 2.3. It's still fantastic. The spread between fixed and variable rates, the larger the gap, you might want to go variable. If the gap is close, so we're going to see fixed rates, in my opinion, come down. And if they do, and the spread between fixed and variable is small, like 25 basis points, then fixed rates might be the way to go. But right now, variable is a good play too, because you can always lock in to fixed when you feel that that time has come for you.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of other things you wanted to cover in this Zoom call. Certainly with, I know from my perspective as a realtor, before I take a buyer out, I want them to be pre-qualified. I want to make sure. Whereas before you always say you want them to be pre-qualified, but in these times with income challenges, maybe someone in the household isn't working, so all of a sudden you used to have a combined guaranteed income of X. Now you don't have that, or some, like what are you seeing out there right now with these challenges due to the COVID and that kind of thing?
Right. The number one thing these days that lenders have to see, they're basically demanding, you have to have your income and employment documents up front, or they won't even dig into the file. Yeah. So first thing is, be prepared, have your documents ready. Job letter, pay stub, if you're self-employed, and last 2 years NOAs, T1 generals, have these things prepared. It's not just an application anymore. Let's get the documents up front, so when we submit it, your file will get looked at and not pushed aside.
Well, and good news too is, during the COVID, I think almost everybody I know got all their taxes done. So we've all got our taxes done, and we've got our, we're ready to roll. Like, if most people took the time to get caught up, right?
That's right.
So let's finally, to close on this, You know, there are some questions with things like refi, deferral payments, programs that are available. You wanted to cover a couple of things while we had you on the line about that.
Right. So if you're thinking about deferring a mortgage payment, the biggest thing is communication. Communication is key with your lender. Contact your lender, make sure, you know, talk to them about your situation, be honest with them. They will see if you qualify to defer your payment. It's capped at 6 months. They're not going to give you that all at once. It'll be month by month. You're going to have to keep explaining your situation. And deferring a payment, is that really the way to go? If you're financially able to make your mortgage payment, then make your mortgage payment. Deferring is just for those that are really having struggles. Okay, so one of the things that you can do is visit your lender website. There's a list of different programs, all sorts of things that they're offering, and don't just skip a payment. That's the worst thing you can do. Get an approved deferral. Okay, it's not a gift. You're going to have to pay it back. The interest will be added onto the balance, and eventually you're going to be paying it back anyway. I do get questions like, will that affect my credit rating? Okay, we don't know, but a deferral payment is not a missed payment. Okay, so chances are it's not going to affect your credit rating. What may affect your credit rating, though, is the balance of your loan. So keep that in mind.
Sure. Well, Andy, thank you very much for the information. Let's wrap on that. And, you know, we're really looking forward to it is going to pick up in May and June. And I want to thank you for being a good vendor provider of services to a couple of my clients. I visited some people, well, actually drove by outside their home after we roadside dropped off the keys to a home over in East Ladner that you arranged the mortgage for. And I tell you, it feels really good to see someone go from applying for a mortgage, buying a home, and moving into a mortgage. And it was been a great experience working with you, Andy. Thank you so much.
That's for sure. And just on a last note, Mitch, for those watching, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay, don't be afraid to ask for help. There's a lot of useful websites out there: Canada.ca, gov.bc.ca/COVID-19. A lot of good programs there. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I've got a lot of good emails I can send to you that lists certain programs that might be helpful to you.
Perfect. And I'll have your contact information below the YouTube link in the description box below here. Also links when we post it on social media and other things so that they can connect directly with you. Thank you, Andy Greig from Dreher, local right here in Tsawwassen. Pleasure talking today and best of luck. I look forward to working with you in the future.
Great, Mitch. Stay safe.